Hey friends, you know it's gonna get serious when I have a damn page of notes. When I have a book of notes. Also a giant glass of wine. I didn't fill it up all the way because I'm not that extra. And also I have to go to work in the morning. Stay down. I'm gonna try and stay on topic here because this is the topic that fires me up so much and I wish it didn't. I wish I didn't care this much, but fuck Coachella, man. Fuck Coachella. A couple of years ago, I looked into kind of who owns Coachella, and mainly because I saw like an article about it and I was like, what is this? What? Who owns this? Philip Anschutz, AEG, which stands for Anschutz Entertainment Group, owns a ton of festivals in the country. Coachella, Hangout Fest, Firefly, and Bumbershoot, among many others. AEG is one of the two huge concert conglomerates, the other being Live Nation, and AEG is run by an absolutely horrible man. Philip Anschutz is somebody that I don't want to support and I don't want to throw any of my money or my attention to, which I know it's counterproductive that I'm making a video about it, but I'm making a video about how shady it is. I have a list of things that Philip Anschutz has donated his hard-earned money to over the years. Alliance Defending Freedom and Family Research Council and the National Christian Foundation, which all three are openly anti-LGBT organizations. And he has also financed a lot of climate change deniers. He has basically donated $1 million to Republican causes, and he still funds pro-gun, anti-gay, pro-life, and anti-abortion Republican candidates. And now, apparently, he's helping to fight legal weed in Colorado? Dude, and on top of all of this, he's apparently real tight with the Koch brothers, which, like, in case you didn't know, they're, like, comically evil. Like, they're, like, cartoonishly evil. It's bad. Seeing all of the money that he has thrown towards things that are so vehemently against everything I believe, I cannot in good conscience support anything that he does. And that is Coachella. One of the big things that he advertises, that is one of the big things that AEG is known for. Seeing all of the cross promotion and seeing all of the brands that have kind of like collaborated with Coachella, it's now a brand. Like, it's not just a festival, it's a brand. That just makes me feel icky, knowing how much money Coachella is putting into this man's pocket. And I've had my issues with just Coachella kind of lifestyle kind of thing, social media shenanigans in the past. Like, it's all over my feed right now and I'm like, I don't want to see it. Like, I'm just tapping on the sides of videos on my phone being like, I don't want to see this, I'm not interested. All of these recommended videos of like fucking Laura Lee and Manny NUA and like Jeffree Star, like fucking, I don't care. I don't want to support this guy and this company that is funding anti-gay, pro-gun, pro-life organizations and like anti-weed. Like, all of those things are like not what I'm about. This guy that is getting money from all of these kids going to this festival and all of these YouTubers promoting this festival, he's just lining his pockets and lining the pockets of bigoted Republicans. And I'm not about that life. I'm not about that life at all. And it makes me angry knowing how much money that this festival is making for Philip Anschutz, and I'm like, fuck you, man, fuck you. I don't like thinking about this stuff all the time. Like, sometimes I don't like being aware. Like, I would much rather be blissfully ignorant sometimes about things, but finding out that AEG now owns Bumbershoot and now the Showbox, I'm like, that makes so much sense, because the Showbox has shitty bands now. They don't have local bands play at the Showbox. For the last few years since AEG took over, their local band lineups are just gone. I mean, I don't pay money to go see shows much because I go to take pictures, but it makes me feel icky knowing that, like, vis-a-vis, somehow I'm supporting something that I'm so vehemently against. It's hard to think about and it's hard to know about, you know? To help make this video more constructive and less of just like a rant of me being mad that Coachella makes Philip Anschutz so much fucking money, I have a list of festivals that you guys have given me and my friends have given me all around the world. Mostly in this country. I didn't get a ton of responses from elsewhere. I highly recommend that you guys look into these if they're near you. And if you have any other ones, please leave them in the comments below and then I can pin them so that other people can look into it. And I know that some of these have passed already. I'm sorry that I didn't get this video up sooner, but I figured in the hustle and bustle of Coachella bullshit, it would get more views. So thanks, algorithm. But here is a not complete list of festivals around the country that you should check out that are not owned by AEG. Really? Well, fine. Well, the damn... Oh, that was fast. I didn't even have time to take a sip of my wine. I should just hold this while I'm reading. Make it like story time. We're not gonna talk about the Fire Festival. That's just gonna be a meme that lives on forever, you know? Fucking Fire Festival. Yeah. I will start with Live Nation, just to get it out of the way. It is a necessary evil. Fucking fees the shit out of you on Ticketmaster, but I mean, I'd rather pay fees than fund bigoted Republicans. Sasquatch Festival in Washington State. We get a ton of Canadian bands and a ton of local bands, a ton of national bands. This year, I have talked about it at length. It's amazing. Unless Philip Anschutz takes over, I'm gonna keep going. So, you know, I love Sasquatch. Bonnaroo in Tennessee. Bonnaroo is similar to Sasquatch, except it's in the middle of the country. So I've always wanted to go to Bonnaroo, and Lollapalooza, I've always wanted to go to Lollapalooza. Lollapalooza used to tour, and now it's just in Chicago. So if you are near Tennessee or Chicago, and you want something that's even remotely similar to Sasquatch, Bonnaroo and Lolla. I mean, they're huge festivals, so it's like, this is nothing new. Outside Lands is in the Bay Area. It's in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. It doesn't get too hot because it is in the Bay Area. It like gets a nice kind of draft. It's like near the ocean. But Outside Lands is dope from what I hear. Austin City Limits, and I mean, besides Austin City Limits, also there's South by Southwest, but that's not Live Nation. But ACL Fest, it's been around for a while, and it started as just like Austin City Limits as like a TV show, and then they made a festival out of it, so that's cool. Voodoo is in Louisiana. Voodoo Music and Arts. I've never been to Louisiana and I want to go. Download Fest is in Melbourne, Australia. Australia, you got dope music festivals too. I saw some signs for them when I was there. Recommendation from a subscriber, Shaky Knees in Georgia, and I guess there's Shaky Beats in Georgia as well. I don't know the difference between the two. Governor's Ball in New York has always been one that I've wanted to go to. I've had a ton of friends that went and photographed. I feel like festivals in New England are something that I will never experience, but they are always good. Like, they're always ones that I want to go to. We Are Scientists has been on the lineup several times. I want to go so bad. Forecastle is in Louisville, and I said it right. What up, Kentucky? I have friends who live out in Louisville, and they've been and they love it. Yeah. And then Mad Cool is actually run by Live Nation. It's in Madrid. I've heard tons of great things about Mad Cool. If you are outside of the country, please leave other ones in the comments, please, because I didn't have all that much time to research all this. I can't research the whole earth. And then Reading and Leeds, two festivals actually that I've wanted to go to, because We Are Scientists played them a ton of times in like the mid 2000s, and there were so many videos from Reading and Leeds, and like all the music I was listening to in high school and college was like there, like all of this like Brit pop rock revival stuff. Reading and Leeds, the governor's balls of the governor's balls of the UK. And now on to a list of festivals that are not owned by Live Nation. So you should even check these ones out even more because they're more independent. I tried to get a good variety of places. Midpoint in Cincinnati is one I got as a suggestion from a friend. I've heard it's really great. And then Bourbon and Beyond, also in Louisville, is a newer festival that you should check out, especially if you're apparently over the age of 21, because bourbon. Boston Calling is one that I've always wanted to go to, but it's always the same weekend as Sasquatch. And whenever there's been a shitty lineup at Sasquatch, I've always blamed Boston Calling because I'm like, they get all the other bands that we couldn't get, or they got them first. They probably had a great lineup last year because we did not. Eau Claire in Wisconsin. This was a festival started by Justin Vernon of Bon Iver, and this is one that I saw a video of when they had the festival for the first time, and I just like wanted to cry because I'm like, why am I not there? This sounds wonderful. Like in the middle of Wisconsin, like that sounds amazing. In the summertime, it's probably really hot though. Next is Desert Days in Southern California. Another one that I got as a suggestion on Instagram. Thanks guys for leaving me suggestions. You guys left me so many good ones. Paradiso is one that actually happens at the Gorge. If you're really into like electronic music and giant raves, Paradiso is your jam. You couldn't pay me to go because I like being sober too much. But if EDM is your shit, Paradiso is dope. Bright Winter in Cleveland, apparently not in the summertime. And then a Pitchfork in Chicago, which you guys have probably have heard of. Like, Pitchfork started as a music review website that was hipster and pretentious as fuck, and then they started doing a festival. I will go back and read like really, really pretentious Pitchfork reviews. Like, it was always kind of like a punchline. It's like, oh, you sound like you write for Pitchfork. But they judge We Are Scientist Records way too harshly. And then there's Afropunk in Brooklyn, so that's awesome. I've always wanted to go to that one, cause like, also Brooklyn, I haven't been. There's one called Mopop in Detroit. For a second I was like, wait, there's a place in Seattle called Mopop. This is entirely unrelated to the renaming of Experience Music Project in Seattle, but there's a festival called Mopop in Detroit. Neon Desert is in El Paso, Texas. So besides all the Austin festivals, you can go to El Paso. That's cool. Tree Fort and Pickathon are in Idaho. I've always wanted to go. Those have always been ones that I've really, really wanted to go to because they're not very far away. Like, Tree Fort is at kind of like venues in Boise, and then Pickathon is like in the middle of the woods. So if that's your jam, that's your jam. And then in Portland, they have Music Fest Northwest, which is not the same as it used to be, but it's still awesome. And then Project Pabst, also in downtown Portland, so check those out. There's another one in Oregon called What the Festival. It's in Dufour, don't know necessarily where that is. I'm hoping it's closer to Eugene because Eugene is a college town and they should have festivals near the college towns. Yeah, What the Festival. That's a great name because the initials are WTF. Like, I love that. And then in Canada, I have a handful of ones from Canada. There's Shambhala in BC, and then Astral Harvest in Alberta. And then as well in BC, there's Squamish Valley Festival. I know that having Canadian bands play in festivals are really difficult because of like work visas and like getting to be able to tour and play shows over the border. It's just really complicated and it takes way more work than you think it should be. So if you live in BC, there's 2 festivals that you can go to without having to cross over in the United States. That's great. A couple other ones from California. There's Treasure Island in San Francisco. This is one that my friend Amber has gone to multiple times, and they didn't have it last year, but they had it the year before. And this one she just raves about all the time. Treasure Island. And then there's the California Roots Music Fest in Monterey. So if you like kind of Americana and roots music, check that out in Monterey. And then a couple other local ones in the state of Washington. Upstream, because it exists now. I'm not super stoked on it. Sorry, Paul Allen. Dobe and Timberfest are both artist home festivals, and they are amazing. I can vouch for Timberfest because I have been more than once. Dobe, I have had a ton of friends go and played, and they're both in just like beautiful campy areas. Timber is wonderful. It's like less than an hour away from Seattle, and it's at the tiniest little campground. REI like sponsors the thing. You get to like ride down a river to like the main stage, and this year's lineup for Timber is amazing. Like, oh my god, it's so good. And then we have Capitol Hill Block Party, which is a bit more intense in terms of just like everybody being stuck in the same place within like a 4-block radius with no space, and it's sweaty. I have been twice, and the first time I went, I was not the biggest fan, but I was also a bit jaded back then. And last year though, I had a ton of fun. Like, I had so much fun last year. There's Lost Lake in Phoenix, which is actually a suggestion from a follower on Instagram. Thank you. Mamby on the Beach in Chicago is another one I got as a suggestion from someone on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. A few other ones in the UK that I want to go to so bad. Glastonbury is like my dream festival. There's Download Fest in the UK. There's 2 different Download Fests. There's one in Melbourne and then one in Britain. And then there's Tea in the Park in Scotland is another one that actually We Are Scientists have played at and that a couple of my friends have gone to. So yeah, Tea in the Park, Scotland, another one that I would love to go to. Primavera Sound in Barcelona. So there's 2 different festivals in Spain that I talked about. Good job, Spain. There was one in Alaska, Salmon Fest, which is the fucking most Alaskan sounding thing in the world. I knew I wrote one down. But yeah, so if you are in a state that I did not mention, leave festivals in the comments below that you have gone to or that you are interested in going to, and I will pin a ton of fucking comments for people to see other festivals that I did not mention, and I will leave links for all of these in the description below, as well as links for the statistics about Philip Anschutz, that fucking asshole that we talked about at the beginning of the video, because that guy can fuck off and suck a dick. I feel like I did not get as ranty in this video as I mean, I got ranty at the beginning, but the second half, second 2/3 was just like, here, let's talk about all these festivals in the different states. But I didn't finish this wine. This is the Josh wine because it was cheap at a grocery outlet. I also found this glass at grocery outlet for like $5, and I originally bought it intending on giving it to my sister because she's in love with red wine, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna have it for myself. I'll buy her another one. Please don't take this video as me hating on anybody going to Coachella. I do not hate you for going to Coachella. I am not angry at you for going to Coachella. I just wanted to let you know in case you feel icky about funding this guy. You know, should I finish this? Probably. I'm just like staring into my wine now. What movie was this from? Maybe it's too big. Today's song of the day is entirely unrelated to everything I just talked about because I just saw a great band play last night. I've talked about them recently in another video, and they're called Bad Optics. And they're dope. The song of the day is called Hostel. It's amazing. It's so good. These guys are fucking, they're so good. Shit, like they're so good. I just opened a Discord as part of my Patreon thing. So if you want to become my patron, you can get access to a bunch of shit. But I just added a Discord, a private Discord that you can like, we can have a chat all the time, and you can like DM in like a group chat rooms. Remember that? That was a thing. But if you haven't checked out my Patreon, please do that. If you haven't subscribed, please do that as well, and then hit the notification button to get notified when I upload things. Hence the name notification button. Bell button. Should I have drank this much wine? I don't know. Thank you to my current patrons. You're amazing. I love you so much. I appreciate you. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.